Oh, poor baby. Poor little girl. She's left out. Hey, whoever's around. We're going to play here for a minute. Nobody's here yet. All alone. Okay, well, I'll get out of here.
It's okay.
I'm going to put these in this little box.
Did you get it out?
No. I'll have to work on it again sometime.
You can work on it right now.
I don't have the right tools.
Oh, okay. Yeah, shut my door and the TV's on mute.
Come on, buddy.
I think I'm missing a print. Let's see if we can make this work. Well, duh. Thank God Melody knows how to get a hold of me. I've just been sitting here working away, waiting for people to join me. Randy started changing a switch in my big architect's light, the one I like because it's got an incandescent and a fluorescent in it. So, hi, how y'all doing? Let me see what's going on. Melody, Sherry, Beth. Hey, Beth. Cheshire, Lena. Lena, your stream today was awesome. Hi, Ian. Hadn't seen you in a while on here. Of course, I haven't been doing much art like you do. Cheshire, if I didn't say Cheshire. When this comes on, I have a choice of live chat or top chat. Nothing shows up in top, so I'm glad Melody dinged me. Hey, Dances. Oh, we could call you Pitbulls. If you tell me your real name, I won't remember it. Oh, no, Ian. That's cereal. I am putting together, get my Dick Blick order out of the way, my shopping cart. Let me get this live on here on my iPhone. I'm going to show you the down and dirty that I go through. Where are you going? Where are you going? YouTube. Videos. Okay, I am on the YouTube. Okay, I am on the YouTube. And I'm turning it down. Okay, Miss Lena. Hey, Jilly. All right. Let me get this last piece put together. I surely do miss my big laser printer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't have the right piece for that. Darn it. Because that's the laser. Okay, so that piece is no good. In the portrait business, you are often given things to work with that are less than optimum. And I'll show you what I mean. Let me make sure y'all can see my iPad. How did that get on there? Yeah, you can see it pretty good. That's not the real one. I want you to see what she has to work with. This was the original. That doesn't look right either. This area right here was the original photo. I don't want you going that way. Okay, it's gonna be cantankerous. All right. Let me see if this light. Yeah, maybe this light. Nope, it's still coming in. But it is blown out up in here anyway. You can barely see. This is her dad. And this is his career. And she liked that memory. That picture just brought back memories to her. So that was my original. So the first thing I did, I put this together just for y'all. The first thing I did was I had to put back up a minute. Let me rethink this. I had her take the snapshot and photograph it in quadrants so that her phone could get straight down on it and I could have a bigger picture to work with. So that meant that I had to put those 4 pieces together in Photoshop. I couldn't remember what I had done and why I was gluing stuff because I needed to be able to blow it up and still have some pixels to look at, even though they're horrible. Okay. Yeah, the YouTubes. Okay, so I don't know how slow this is. The next thing that I do in planning a figurative piece of work, or really any piece of work, I move it around until I can get what I want to be the main item, which in this case is his white shirt. It's him. I want it on one of the thirds. It just so happens that he's perfectly on it too, but I can't get rid of him because then he'd have no reason to be talking. And she kind of likes the whole thing. She likes the machinery and everything that's in it. So I can't do anything about that. So he's also going to fight for attention with my main subject, which is Dad. Okay, so then, which did I do first? Those all look the same. Okay, then I went back into Photoshop. This was an old faded photo and pulled some color back. And that also helped see him a little bit better. But there's a blur right in here that, there's nothing I can do about that. The original photo had it. So this was the first attempt. I didn't mess with this piece back here, which is part of the putting it together. So anyway, that was one color shift. And here we go with another one, making it a little more green. And that probably, I blew it up a little bit so that I'd get even more color. Whatever color was there, I wanted. Or at least wanted the option of looking at it. Excuse me. Y'all do it to me every time. Hey, Jules. Make sure everything's still going good over here. So, I've already tried to get another picture. Of course, an old one like this, there wouldn't be another one, but is there another picture of your dad I could use? So, this is a commission, so I planned it on a 16 by 20. A 16 by 20. And that piece is missing. A 16 by 20 makes his head about 2 inches. A little less than. Now, right at 2 inches. That's not really that good. I'm just going to call this a figurative. Blow it all out. So anyway, you can see what it's going to look like. This is an inkjet print that I did not print on high quality. And so this is a master that is exactly the size the painting will be. And I printed it in 4 different sections, again, tiling it so I could get the whole thing. Now, what this ends up doing, it ends up being a good reference for me to measure angles. I do most of that on my iPad, but I like to have something else to double check it by. And Lena, your painting this morning, all the white backlit looks so cool on yours, and it's going to look cool on this one too. The other thing that this dark photo has for me is that anytime there's it's not a value change, it's a color change. When they're right together, I can run those together. I don't have to have any sort of a line. So, for example, let me get that other picture. I folded it and put it in the trash already. So I spotted some down there that. Okay, can't find it right now. It's just legs, damn it. Anyway, there are some other areas where the jeans go into the machinery, and that's going to be fun to paint and just barely change a color rather than changing anything else. So there's my master, okay? Any questions? And those of you who like to have a finished product in an hour aren't going to like this. But honest to God, this is the process that I go through, that most people go through, most portrait artists go through. If you're lucky enough to have a live session with a model, you have to go to their house, take the pictures, you take 100 or so pictures and blah, blah, blah. And if you've done that enough times as an artist, then you can paint from a picture a little better. I do too, Ian. I do too. And I even asked her about the fade out, and she said, well, she kind of likes that. And I think he has passed. So if that's the case, then having this be a little bit lighter in value will express that feeling a little more. Yeah, this isn't impossible, but if, I mean, you can't recreate this because this was probably 40 years ago. So if the customer wants it, and if I think I have any chance of getting it, I'll do it for her. And she loved the encaustic portrait I did of the 2 guys, but that was totally different. I had good reference. And she also likes watercolor. So the watercolor may help determine what I'm going to do here. But like I said, I work from here to make sure everything is in alignment. I have my big computer, my desk computer, iMac, is sitting over in an alcove just right over there. And I've got an extra monitor so that I can blow this up full size if I want to paint over there. That's my oil corner. So I've got all kinds of ways to work with this. So we're going to see what we can do. Let me put this aside. I used the etcher mirror. I did find out, for those of you who missed the last couple of videos, I tested this for etcher, and I don't have my picture up there. And as usual, I was in a hurry to get ready for you guys, so I slummed a couple of parts and probably messed it totally up. What I've got here on this piece of tissue, and this is my medical exam table paper. It's kind of in between deli and tissue. So I've marked off tick lines here at a 50% because I didn't want to play around with a full-size piece. So I can actually do a little bit of a watercolor to see if I'm going to like that. I can see the lines through here, and I can line them up. Well, I can line it up in their app. It has to be flipped, but I can see through this, and I can line it up with my grid lines. So that's all I'm showing you there. I think that I got in too big a hurry and messed up my drawing at 50%. I did a printout of, I did a laser printout . Well, I did a laser printout at 50%. There's another pair. No, that was out. What did I do with it? Okay, I guess we don't need it. Don't need that. It walked away, guys. So what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to break a little rule here. I've got a book of Canson. And the reason I say I'm breaking one, this is just my rule, is because I really should do it on an artist quality paper to get an idea of how it's going to work. But because we're not, I'm just going to, if I was doing this by myself without you guys, I would project it again with Ian's, with the etcher mirror. See, Ian, I've got you on my brain. I'm going to line this up exactly. I'm going to do a cheater method of tracing because I don't want to draw today. This is one of the old ways of doing it. Turn it over, and on the back, put charcoal or soft pencil on the back of your lines. And it'll get you where you want to go for something that you're just playing with today. And see these areas that there's no line? That's where I can have some fun. Figure out what I was doing. My paper is folded. And I guess it bled through because it was a Sharpie. See what I do for you guys? Lena, your drawing skills are really amazing. You do stuff that sometimes I don't even attempt, especially with everybody watching. And could I draw this? Of course. But I don't want to. I'm going to kind of center it, make sure I'm square. And I've got pencil. I want a like a fountain pen or something that. This is a pencil without lead, so that's perfect because you want to make a. You want it to be hard enough that you can see your lines. You don't want to be so hard that you scar your paper. One thing I think is going to be fun on this, though, is all the highlights. They just will make it come alive. This is what people do when they don't want to stand at a window and don't have a light box. And if I could see it, I just put an idea of where that collar goes. Right here's where I'm wrong. When I moved it, I got it too close. So this is where I want the pants to be. And we're just going to do it like that. How do you like those apples? We'll see what we get. And I couldn't see that pants leg, so I didn't put it down. Nor could I see this. Now I'm going to see which of those lines I can see. I think I must have had something on this paper already. And it really doesn't pay to get in a hurry like I did because you have to do it over. It's what we used to say in the graphics business. Never enough time to do it right, but there's always time to do it over. Well, he doesn't have a hat on, does he? Hoodie with a beard, he doesn't have a hat on. Nope, 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 nope. One of these days I need to show you guys contour drawing. See, I'm just going to have to make up a lot of this stuff. That's Randy's phone. He left it in here. Excuse me. He left his jacket with his phone in it. That's what he did. Here's your jacket and your phone. Okay. I'm back. This paper's been around the block a few times. This is the wheel. And his leg. Well, crapaloni, this is not going to work because my drawing was off. Well, we've got a backup. $2.33. I'm getting my grid the same size as what this is. Yeah, see, he's supposed to be over here. Here's his arm. Shirt's coming on down. I am just butchering this 6 ways from Sunday. It doesn't have hips. All right. I'm going to have to wait until I can get some more information. That's how I start. Now, the next step I do will be playing with some colors because I've got a perfect opportunity with all the greenery to use some Daniel Smith granulating colors back in here. Just a few, just to give it interest. I won't go that green. I'll probably hit somewhere in here. Or attempt to anyway. I've got to get a good drawing though before I ever tackle even a play painting. I'm going to use this. We're going to switch to pastels now, guys. Fun and Vicki world. But I get getting in a hurry. I worked on her. I'm going to go up with my camera a little. And y'all are seeing it foreshortened. See how it's narrower at the bottom than it is at the top? Let me see if it's doing that on the iPhone. Yeah, it is. I can see it doing it. Okay. Before I switch gears. Yeah, Kid Sidewalk Chalk is great. You do have, yeah, the new medical exam paper, Beth. Hey, howdy, doll. Haven't seen you in a while. I know, doesn't he, Lena? That's going to be fun. Ian, yeah, you may be right. That could be another fun application of that. Crap of baloney, yeah. Yeah, it will, Ian, and I may have to tackle it a couple of times to get it. Let me see if I can find. I love the etcher. I know I've reviewed it with you, but I love it because it's so easy and portable. I'm going to flip through these. Prints I've been making. I haven't been filming all of them. I want to see if I can find that paper. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Stuck together. That's onion skin. It is right on the bottom. Now this is the exam paper. It really doesn't look like there's any wax on it. And it doesn't bead up, which would be an indicator of a wax. I don't think it's got any wax on it at all. However, it took 4 or 5 layers of acrylic paint beautifully. Now, let me show you what happens and why I think that this will be fun. I need something with some touch to it right there. Making sure I've got it matte medium or water. I just turned the corner down. Should be careful about that. Your edges just disappear. The paper disappears. Now, if you're using matte medium or something like that, put this down on a piece of work. You don't have any white lines at all showing where you've torn the paper. Deli paper does it to a certain extent, but you can still see it. But this will totally disappear when it's glued down. Okay. Audie doll, you need to go see Lena's replay. It's really, really good. So, that'll come off when it's dry. All right. CB, I didn't see her here today. She was asking me the last time if I was going to continue to work on it. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to finish this. I worked in the background. Remember, it had this purple wash on the background. And corrected around her face just a little in this. And worked on the hand quite a bit. And I was just making squiggles in the background, which is what I like to do, kind of like Crayola marks. And I realized that I had a perfect M, and her name is Mara. So I just scribbled in some others. It doesn't matter if anybody else sees it and knows what it is or not. I know what it is. And it may not even stay there. I don't know why I've got two bins going. You know what I caught Minnie doing? The little girl? She was coming in here and standing up on her back legs and getting in my pastel tray. Make sure y'all can see. And then she was walking out with a stick in her mouth like a Tootsie Roll Pop. I had to put a stop to that. Looking at chat again. Yeah, it is, isn't it, Beth? Those things just happen. I did a cat one time. A cat passed away, and his name was African, and it was Iwana, Iwana. And on his chest, he had white fur. He was solid black. He had white fur that I didn't have to do much at all to make it look like Iwana, just connect it all together. Nobody knows it but me, but that makes it fun. Let me find my baby. I'm going to open her up. One of the things I like about the Etcher app is that I can lock the picture so that when I touch the screen, it doesn't go anywhere. And I did try using the laptop with it, and the laptop requires the app. I mean, so you can't do it without the app. Okay, so I want her to go up. Two. Okay, that's about it. Now I can lock it, and I can come back in and brighten it and then get rid of it. So now that this is the very same size, I can come over here and measure, and then measure back over here to make sure that I've got things the way they should be. So let me get in the zone here. I tried to work over with my big easel, which is where all my pastels are. But I don't have a good enough light over there, and it's winter here, so that was bothering me where these were not going over to her face. I'm looking. I was telling you guys the other day that this is what goes on in painting representational work, and it's not for everybody. You have to be kind of OCD. Here's one of the sticks she got too. I've probably got 3 or 4 colors in this shadow layer. And that's what makes it look real. And her hair does come down. I always put a little bit of green. Now holler at me if you have any questions. This kind of work is hard to do for y'all in an arena like this. And hardly ever will it be the last thing I do, because it takes some quiet concentration to get. I have no idea who he's talking to out there. Now, if I'm across the room, This will read as all one color. When you get up close on it, you'll see every color that I put in it. And that's what you want. That won't stay there, but it's good for a marker. And I have successfully messed that up. And I've never used this board before. It'll be interesting to see how much it takes. Her eyes got to be up here because it has to start where that one is. Or start where that one ends. I see chat moving. That's all right, June. Glad to see you. Like we haven't been together all weekend. Minnie found this on the floor. I was walking out with her in her mouth like a big tooth. I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was a pastel, but I have never used a pastel down to that shape. Long time ago, we were visiting a friend in St. Augustine, Florida, and she wanted Randy to go with her to look for another car. Well, knowing how easily I get bored, she threw me a piece of Sculpey clay, and I played with that clay and made a joker. His head was about this big. He had a round ball and a hat with the little thingies coming off of it. That's one of the thingies. It obviously was in the floor. So, you walk on this and then you run a little bit and then you come back and walk a little bit. And making that slight adjustment in that eye brings it on up here and then down. And then she's got her little eyelid coming in like that. Hazel. Add a little bit of blue. And then come back with my white. We're not supposed to blow on this stuff, but everybody does. And I don't like working with it flat because the dust can accumulate too much. But until I can get that easel fixed, have a little bit of fun with color. I still don't like that. Better. I did a lot of work on her teeth the other day. Still not, I mean, this is process, that's all I'm saying. I don't blend. So that's her thumb. And painters are in the illusion business. So you fiddle fart, and then you'll look at it and say, I got it. And you use very, very light touch. So you have the luxury of going back in many, many, many times. Okay, chat. Who are you asking, Beth? Me or somebody else? Oh, Jean. Okay. Jean is probably going to say Shenhan. Jean, she said that she's a beginner. We learned that in the last. I'll put just a little dab of white on there, but I know it's not going to stay until I get finished. But it helps to see where you're going. What big eyes you have. And I have her eyebrow too far down. Okay, now try it. Okay. I'm reading. I wish I had a way of getting in touch with you guys all together. I saw somewhere in the web a guy had won an award for a beautiful painting, watercolor painting, that was 16 by 20, and he did it in praying watercolor. And I said, "You mean praying, like the school praying?" He said, "Yeah, I can get good results from that." I thought, oh my God, a $10 set of paints. But people do all sorts of stuff with what they've got or what they have access to. This has got to be about as boring as watching paint dry. That's why I end up so many times just doing jelly printing. I want green. Thumb, thumb, thumb. I think this would be more fun if we could talk to each other while we're doing it. Drink of water. I'm looking at chat again. Are we buffering any today? And the people who paint with sticks in the yard instead of brushes. Yeah, Beth, I've got an outlet. I tried it a month or so ago. The link is below. It's for YouTube peeps, I think it is. And I can stream through there and I can have people talk occasionally if they want to ask a question. You don't have to, but it's kind of like Hangouts used to be. Maybe still is, but I think they're changing a lot of that. Anyway, that's how it goes. And it automatically feeds to YouTube. So somebody that doesn't want to do that doesn't have to. They can just come to YouTube like always. Such a pretty springy. See, I can't even think while I'm doing this. Purple. I will be better to work on the hand when I get that going on in the background so I can judge color. I'm just so lightly touching this that I can glaze almost forever with a sanded surface. And when I get over at my easel, y'all can see over my shoulder. I've done that before. I just got to get my lighting back. And I can shift the camera a little bit if you want to see at times what I'm choosing from, which might be fun. I still don't have that finger right. spend more time looking than you do painting. I am not crazy about this paper or this board. I will get it. That thumb is darker. Lighter there and darker here. This little stick right here will last forever. Here's one that's I've used forever, and it's about half the size it was, but it still works. Okay. I'm just tapping it. When you blend pastel, you kill the vibrancy because it's real pigment, so it's got natural mica in it. And you can see it when you walk by one, like over here where it's not blended. You can see it. If you blend it out furiously, all you get is one tone of color instead of, pick it up. Oops, this way. There's 3, 4, 5 colors in there. I haven't done that yet, but anyway. Let me look at the chat. Good. Oh, thanks, Jean. That means a lot coming from you. Like I said, it would be easy for me to just do jelly printing and stuff, but I've been yearning to get back into some real painting. The little hand is looking better. I'm doing this because I don't want to do what I need to do. How about that? And I need to leave this alone now, that hand, so that I don't screw it up. And if I'm going to enter the show with this, I need to get moving too. The show business has changed a lot with the advent of electronic submissions. Not that y'all are curious about this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Art shows that are judged cost the artist quite a little bit of money. One entry might be 25, two might be 40. That's not the biggest issue, but when they do an online show, you just be smarter next time. You'll know this. They will allow 1,000 or 2,000 entries in that show. And there is no way in God's green earth that any judge can judge that many entries. You can't do it. I don't care how long you have. They just all blur together. And the flip side of that is that the people putting on the show make a buttload of money, and they hardly have any expenses. And they get the prizes donated, and they give away a part of the money for cash awards. But it's a moneymaker. You see these online classes with Bold Brush and all that. It is a moneymaker for whoever's putting it on. And I have put on competitions before, and it was true then, it's true now. So I said that to say that if it is only an online show, I typically don't enter anymore. I have. But I mean, I want to have a fair chance. That sound like sour grapes. I hope not. And then if it's I should finish my statement. I think I told you this the other day. If you get picked for a regular show that's going to be judged in person, you have to pass a jury first of 2 or 3 people who pick their favorite, 100 or so out of 800 to 1,000 paintings, and then you have to frame it and ship it. The shipping box alone is $200. Isn't that incredible? It's custom sized. It's got foam inset and harder cardboard, and then there's an opening cut to fit your frame and a piece of real dense foam that goes on top of that. And then I usually take them to FedEx, and they put that box inside another box. It can add up when you start shipping that kind of stuff. I mean, then you've got whoever accepts the package, they have another fee. And then the carrier that takes all of the paintings to the show has another fee to unload it at the show. And then you have to back all that back up if you want to, when you get it back. So there's your lesson on. The last show that I was in, I had 2 large paintings, 2 16 by 20s. It cost $800 to send them. That's a lot of money. And then we went through a spell where money was really, really tight. So I quit. I quit. Good choice of color. You picked up the same one twice. See what's over here that's fun. That probably is too. Eventually, you just get tired of the pen scratching and declare it done. Is anybody still with me? Yes, Beth, I have a set of pan pastels. I have a pan pastel painting on the pan pastel site. It's called Parrot Tulips, and it was done entirely with pan pastels, except toward the end. You can't get this kind of texture mark with pan pastels very easily, so you go to your harder, your stick pastels to do that. So yeah, I use them. Um, if if you were to take up pastels as your favorite medium, that would not be the first pastel I would recommend. How's that for a non-answer? And I am going to be launching that class for anyone that really wants to learn the art part, the like you would get if you were in college, the form, the shapes, the color mixing theory, and all that. I've just got some minor changes to make, and then I'm going to be doing it. And that's what I'm putting off. No reason why I'm putting it off. Ooh, howdy doody. No problemo. So, the only way you can get the details is to be on my mailing list, and then you'll get the option to get the details if you want them. And that's the way that I roll because I don't want to be constantly selling stuff. The class includes your materials, and they're curated by me. They're all artist quality materials. And someone like Beth, who's asking lots of questions about that sort of thing, the problem I had when I started painting, digging it out for myself, was that I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I would buy stuff that really wasn't necessary, like the hoard of brushes I've got. And I mean, tubes and tubes and tubes of paint. And then I went from watercolor, several years of watercolor, to soft pastels. And then soft pastels led in after a couple of years to oil, and oil led into encaustic. And I'm just now getting back to watercolor. But that's why I have so many supplies, because I didn't know what to get. So my theory is if I can teach you the basics in half of the class, and then you get to explore with my instruction how to use those mediums, those other four. You get oil, encaustic, soft pastel, and watercolor. Then you can decide, again, with my help and instruction, you can decide what you might want to go further with without having to spend thousands of dollars. So that's my theory on teaching. There are some projects, but they're mostly there to make a point, and they're mostly there so that you can do your own projects. You don't necessarily have to follow someone else. So that's what I do. And I had a hell of a time teaching myself the basics because not every tutor that you come across knows the basics. And I kept having people say, well, go back to the basics. You'll figure it out. I don't know what the basics are. Because any of the local tutors I found were more interested in selling their stuff or um, talking you into framing yours. So basically, you were just parroting what they did. And that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to know the why. Why is it this way? So I figured if I learn better that way, there might be some other people that learn that way. That's all. I don't really want to get into the shirt right now, but I've missed on that one, that shirt several times in the redrawing of it. And you, the artist, is the only one that's really going to look at it up close with a critical eye. Everybody else is going to be at least 12 inches away, like you guys are. And that little tooth looking like a vampire tooth. The very last thing that'll happen will be these little touch-ups. What time is it? It's 20 till 6. Have we had fun, boys and girls? Low battery. Oh, you can see it. You can see it too over there. You too can see it. Biggest problem I have in this studio is oil station, pastel station, and then mixed media takes up the entire rest of the room. Yes, Beth, it's live. I've got to add up the hours. The first time I launched it, I was being coached by someone who does this. I launched it and then designed the class so that the first students could comment, ask questions and stuff, and I could alter what I was doing to suit kind of where they wanted to go. So I don't know how many hours of video, but it's not, if you worked full time on it for 6 weeks, you might get through it all. But it is more like a college class. It's lengthy. I'll just say that. But when I do the details and do the launch, you'll see everything that's in it. Not for everyone. Lena is doing great on her own. I shouldn't tell her that. She'll get the big head. I'm looking in this area. I worked my ass off for, oh golly, 7 months, I guess, designing and everything. Yeah, it's on the Axully.com and it's in the body of the underneath the video. Let's see what I'm going to do now. Work on the fan of my glass a little bit. A man-made item is the only thing that is solid black. I don't want that. I want a different color. And like when you mix your blacks in watercolor, you mix your blacks in pastel by doing just that, by glazing, adding different colors. From across the room, it reads as black, but when you get close to it, you see there's a lot of other colors in it. And I really need to be over there at my pastel box. We'll get there. I'm kind of known for my hair. I have fun doing it. It's coming along, guys. I'm going to put just a little bit of white in here just so I can get a read on where I'm going with it. But the more that I add to it up everywhere else, the dust will affect the white. But I want to see where I'm going. Hey, look, girl, you're coming around. Stay still. It's funny, to me, it's funny. All the study I've had in oils and watercolor particular all relate to each other when you start working, because that little, I put the side of the stick down and went against the hair. That's a little trick that I do in oil, not necessarily pastel. And Lena was talking about this today. It's lost and found edges. See, I lost this big edge down here. The only hard edges will be up in this area, maybe that eye. And that is thirds I told you about. She's right smack dab on that eye. So that'll be the first thing looked at. And then you'll gradually pick this up. All of this is superfluous to the overall thing. There, that's done right there. Background, you're not here for the background. Maura. Maura. I'm looking. I need some hair shadows. And that wasn't really what I wanted. It takes away from the hair. So you backtrack and get rid of it. And I completely boogered that up right there. I never would have thought that I would like soft pastels. You can get results with them that you can't get with anything else. And samples of soft pastel, examples of it go back to the 1400s. It's one of the oldest mediums. And there's your lecture for the day. All right. I think I'm about ready to call it a day. What do we got going on over here? Yeah, I'll tell you a little story. I started with watercolor. Well, I started painting, most of y'all know, because it was that or die, because my 14-year-old daughter had just died when our house burned. So that was something that was suggested to me, that since I had always worked with creative stuff, that maybe art would do the trick. And I said, okay, I'll just go buy a book and I'll teach myself. No, and I don't want you to teach yourself. I want you to get in a group so you can have some socializing. You need that. Okay, because I'm pretty much a loner. And watercolor was the first thing I picked up, and it almost ruined me, because watercolor is the hardest medium of any of them. And I think it's a real mistake when people use it as a beginner's tool. And I think it turns them off a lot of art. So now you know my theory about that. And the reason is because you can never duplicate your results. I mean, it's always a crapshoot. So I'm like Beth. I wanted to know what the other stuff was like. And that's why. And then when I would get involved in something, I would get so involved in it. And then collecting stuff like we do with me. I have completely boogered that one up too. Should have left that alone. You know, the collecting of supplies and all that's real fun, just like mixed media. So anyway, I had some teachers who'd said, you just need to pick one and stick with it. And I said, but I don't know what I want to stick with. I mean, I like this, but maybe I would try something else that I like better. And it took me longer than it would take someone who was a little more focused on what they wanted to do. But after 20 years, I can say that I am proficient in all of those mediums. I won't ever be the best of the best. Well, I won't ever be that at anything, but I can hang in there. And I've had some of the best instructors that you can get. So now it's my turn to pay it forward. That's better. I got it kind of back where it was. So you tell me encaustic is a new and upcoming thing, and I'm going to try encaustic. And I fell in love with it. I think that what I'm going to do next on this is just put a little bit of fixative on it, which I normally don't do at all. But this this board is holding the pastel, but I'm seeing lots of spots where it's not. Remember I put that white on just a few minutes ago? It's gone. See, there's the white. But her hand looks better. I did work on that, didn't I? The only reason I'm doing 2 of these is so that I can pick which one is the artiest. And I made whoa, boy, that's off right there. I made another drawing because this little face was completely out of whack, and I knew it was. Which one is the artiest? if I decide to do this in competition. This is the velour paper. It's just the coolest thing ever to work on. I'm also just hitting a medium zone here. I'm trying to decide which element I like and I want to keep. So I'll either pinpoint on the eye or the mouth, and then all of this stuff is still just in scratchy stages. And the other thing is, y'all will get to see what it looks like side by side when I finish it. Beth, poster pastel. I'd have to see that. I've never heard poster pastel. At first, I thought you were talking about poster paint, but when you get into some of those terminologies, the paint can be like a gouache or a tempera paint, which don't necessarily blend nicely with real watercolors. Pressed chalk. So this must be, I would guess that means they're very, very hard. And one of the original makers of pastels was Rembrandt. And they were very hard and they were this shape. And then they changed the formula and now this is their stick. But the old timers who've been in it a long time say if you can find one of these sets with this shape pastel, get it, because you can barely find it anymore. And for the longest time, a set of 20 or 30 was all there was available. There wasn't a dark. You had to make your own darks. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a little serious about this one. Make sure that I'm not editing and making a bigger mess. That's pretty close. Anyway, y'all got anything else to visit about? Here it is. I finally finished one of my great big Amazon packs. I put a link to that in my Amazon store. They are rated the best wipe as far as being natural. No alcohol. Of course, this is natural. But I guess if you dried them out and tinted them, they do make good things to add to your mixed media because you can sew on them when they're dry. I mean, I do my part. I've got my natural bird's eye unbleached cotton diaper. I use that a lot with my watercolors. Okay. Are they Rembrandts, Beth? Can you tell? Pressed chalk. Cool. How many sticks do you have? Oh, no. Okay. And delay in chat's hard to deal with. Well, guys, I feel pretty good about what I got done today. Wasn't exactly what I wanted to get done. I wanted to play more on the watercolor thing, but that's the way it goes. I'll get this stuff anchored so it won't slide off the table when I'm done. Slide that off the tape. I can't wait to get over there on the big easel with you guys. 24. Cool. All right. Okie dokie. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. I always appreciate you guys. And I thoroughly enjoy watching your feeds as well because I learn stuff from you. We all learn from each other. And mixed media is my weakest. My weakest medium. I think it's funny. And all I want to do is make jelly prints. I can see the board through there. I don't like that. But the board was white, and that's gray, so I'm seeing something through there that I'm not used to seeing. It's very granular. The whole thing is very granular. That velour one won't be granular. It'll be smooth as a baby's butt. You are welcome, Lena. Thank you for streaming today. I'm going to over and out us now. Oh. If anybody gets the mirror thing, remember I said the other week I didn't know exactly what and I've got that wrong. The notched corner. Where is it? Yeah, it goes here. The notched corner, there is a front and a back to the glass. It's not glass, it's plexi, but there is a front and a back, and if you have it flipped, you'll see double, which I did one day last week because I wasn't paying attention to it. So they tell you exactly where that corner that's lopped off is supposed to go. So a little nuance for the mirror. And like I said, I do like it. And it's very reasonably priced. I'll have it out again this weekend. Or this week. It's just Tuesday. Playing with it some more. So, I'll see y'all later. Over and out.